Okay, so Shane, tell us your story.
I was 40 years old roughly,
Right.
and I was working away, and I was in a lot of pain in my right leg, so I went to the doctors, and they found out I had cancer in my right leg,
Right.
bone cancer. So they gave me some chemo. As a
Yep.
waste of time, 7 months of chemo. They cut the cancer out. The chemo hadn't stopped the tumour from growing, they told me. It was still active. And about 6 months after finishing the chemo, I got diagnosed with tumours in my lungs. Secondary tumours from the cancer.
Yep. Yep.
They wanted to operate, break open my chest, take a biopsy that way. So I told them I wasn't letting them do that then. I refused that, so they decided to do a keyhole surgery.
Right.
Take the biopsy, but that wasn't the plan, Vinny. They wanted to break my chest open, and I didn't like that.
No.
So they told me it was cancer again, spreading, and then they offered me another 6 month course of chemo.
Right.
When they offered me the second course of chemo, I asked him what the chances of it working, Vinny.
Yep.
And he says it was less chance of working the second time than it did the first time, and it didn't work the first time.
Right.
So, but they're still going to give me it 6 months.
Yep.
So, but of course, when I'd come out of hospital, Vinny, all I'd done was research cancer cures. You actually do. I wanted to know what was going on, didn't I?
Yeah, of course.
I knew it was coming back. Didn't think it was. I didn't have no trust in that chemo. I just in my heart I knew it was coming back. So I just researched every day. Just researching all the time, don't you? Any.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You've done it, Vinny. Anything you see, you want to know, don't you?
Yeah. 50 books.
But yeah, you can overload yourself.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of the big issues for people, isn't it? You know, the stress of doing it, which sends your blood sugar higher, which is a problem in itself.
Yeah. Everything, stress at life, everything gets to it, doesn't it? So I was online researching, and I'd come across a drug to take for worms.
Yeah.
Mebendazole. Just luckily, I came across it. I was on a site, and someone had written a bit of a science about it.
Right.
The guy who'd written this, it's like I call it a blog thing, but it's like a thread, like an anonymous thread. So I spoke to the guy, and then about 4 weeks after reading it, Vinny, I went back, and then he said, "We think you got cancer, secondary cancer." So that drug was on my mind, Mebendazole. By then, I worked out you could buy it from any chemist.
Yep.
It wasn't that expensive, was it? To me, to cure yourself, I thought, if anything happens now, I'm going to take that. I decided that. And then
wow.
4 weeks later, they've come back and you've got cancer. So I've just started taking them straight away. The problem I had then was the studies I did were on mice. So I had to work out the dosage then.
Right, yeah.
And I couldn't find anyone who'd taken them. I'd done a bit of research, and you only have to take one a day to get rid of the worms. So there was no side effects. For a very safe drug, but a lot of them daily. No one had done that.
Right, yeah.
But they'd done them on mice, and what I understood with the trials, and what I understood, they were looking good, but you don't. A lot of it goes over my head, doesn't it? And I tell a lot of people that you've got to research it and take in what you can, not what someone else takes in. You've got to take in what you can, can't you? So I just thought, my training thought was, when I go to the doctors, they always give you 3 tablets a day, 4 tablets a day.
Yeah.
So that conclusion, right? And the Mebendazole will come in 100 milligram tablets.
Right. So
I spoke to this other guy, anonymous guy, and he said, "Well, I'd take 3 100 milligram tablets because you've got them a day." And then the cimetidine tablets, which is an antihistamine tablet.
Right.
I got talking to this guy, and he says that Mebendazole has a low absorption into the bloodstream. You need to get a lot of it into your bloodstream. So you can get all the cimetidine tablets. You can take cimetidine, take them as well. The tablets I could get in the cimetidine tablets were 200 milligram tablets.
Right.
And I thought, well, you take 3 or 4 a day. Spoke to this. It's called the Elmo. This guy was called the Elmo. That's all I know about him. That's his name online, anonymous, the Elmo. And he says, well, you really need to get him into your system, this guy. He wasn't a doctor. He's just seemed to know what he's talking about to me. He had more knowledge than me, anyway. So he said, take 3 or 4 of them a day. That's what he said, a 200 milligram.
Right, yeah.
So I just thought, so it wasn't so much the dosage I was taking, it was the tablets. Because it would have been the other way around. And it would have been 200 milligram Mebendazole on 100 ml cimetidine tablets. I would have took that.
Yeah.
It wasn't no science behind it.
No.
Right, let's just get it in your system. And then this has become a lot of questions I've had about the L-glutamine I took, Vinny. Now, a Dr. Siegfried that you have on.
Yeah.
And what I gather from watching your videos with him, Vinny, is you're feeding the cancer with sugar, glutamine, glucose, and that's what's feeding the cancer. And so this is where my story varies from Joe Tippens a lot, I suppose. Is I took roughly about 100 grams of L-glutamine powder, Vinny, every day.
Right.
Recommended dosage was 5 grams. But also speaking to this Elmo and reading myself, it says, I found out that your body will only absorb so much of it, and then it'll get rid of the rest, and there's no side effect. So you can't actually OD on it. It's very, very hard to actually get any harm from it.
Yeah.
And 5 grams didn't seem much to me. And I thought, what do? Just get a pint of milk and pump it into milk and take it, a real lot of it. Then if you get, then slow it down a bit if you get ill from it. Or take more straight away than less. I thought, take as much as I can of it. And I just carried on doing it and just kept on getting, say, about 50 grams in the morning in a pint of milk and put this powder in the milk and just downed it.
And that was L-glutamine?
L-glutamine powder. It was like a milkshake. It became a milkshake.
Right. That's funny because what Siegfried talks about is the 2 fuels that feed cancer are glucose and glutamine. And glutamine's an amino acid. So you were actually taking glutamine as an adjunct. So
I was taking that because I wanted to build my immune system back up, which it does. It's an amino acid.
Yep.
Right cells up. But I'm not realizing that it's supposed to be feeding the cancer. I'm not realizing that. I'm not taking.
No. Yeah. But obviously it worked. So.
And I did send you a link on YouTube. Someone sent me a couple of weeks ago about L-glutamine, saying how it could help with stopping tumours. And it went into a lot of science about it, saying if you overload yourself, if you take too much glutamine, it doesn't feed the cancer. It basically smothers the cancer.
Right.
From last year, the study. So I did send you it. But I'll
have a look at that. The problem with YouTube comments is they get lost. It's one comment on another comment on another comment, and when you look from a YouTuber's perspective, you know that yourself. You might only see a few comments when there are loads of comments of other comments, if you know what I mean, and that's why I set up the forum because it just all gets lost. Whereas with a forum, it's somebody puts a thread and you can follow the whole thread, which but obviously it's not getting used much at the moment. But we're brand new, aren't we? So
I have commented on a few of your videos, Vinny, and I've gone back and they've gone.
Right.
I've done that a few times, and I've looked and I've commented, and then I've looked back to see if anyone else has commented again. And gone.
Yeah, well, that just makes me wonder. Makes me wonder about YouTube, you know. But I mean, so talk us through your whole discussions with your oncologist.
Yeah, same as you expect of him, just doing his job. Just wasn't interested. Basically, wasn't interested. Just
No.
I had to give him a bit of a push to ask questions. He didn't want to ask me nothing. He just basically, you've got cancer. You're going to die. No, you haven't got cancer, and it's gone away, and no question.
No, when I went, I took one of Seafried's papers. Anyway, it doesn't matter which paper, but I took a paper, and the oncologist just went like that, and dropped it in the bin.
Yeah,
and basically, the oncologist just said, "My hands are tied. All I can give you is standard of care. All I can give you is standard of care. So it doesn't matter what you show me, what evidence you give. All I can do is standard of care." And it's like, the system's broken. I mean, you know, that if you're stage 4, they send you home to die. You know, you can't say, "Oh well, there's this other alternative. Can you give me that instead?" No, they can't. And apparently in the States there is a law, right to try, but by the time you've gone through the legal bullshit, trying to get right to try, to say do Seafried's protocol or whatever, by the time you've done that and gone through the legal system, you're dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good, is it? As you said, and you should just let you try whatever you want. You ask, and if it's going to help, then you're trying. You've got, and sometimes it's we to live, isn't it? And so, what harm is it doing?
I know exactly. It's just the whole system being broken really, really pisses me off, and that's why I included that Cancer Research UK thing on that video this morning, because it's like Seafried saying that you know, it's not a genetic disease, and all they're doing is chasing genes. They're chasing gene therapies, and it's not a genetic disease. So what good are you gonna do? So they keep getting people running around parks wearing pink, you know, and I feel sorry for these people because they think they're doing some good.
Yeah, I did see that. I've seen your comment about that. They think they're doing good, don't they? They're trying to.
Yeah. They're trying to help. I mean, yeah, I get that. And the oncologists, you know, they're not bad people, but they're just, you know, the hands are tied.
I actually like my doctor.
Yeah.
For 5 years, you got to know him. Maybe after 6 years, I'd known him. Didn't have any problems with him.
No.
I just my problem was he wasn't interested.
No.
Just in doing his job.
Yeah.
He didn't want to know anything you mentioned to him. I did mention a few things I'd read about. He didn't know. He wasn't interested.
No. So you've obviously seen Joe Tippens and his protocol with the Mebendazole, which is the dog dewormer.
It's an amazing story. Joe Tippens' story, amazing. And it's he's an old man. That's that proves to me the sunk in it, because he's not a young man who's like healthy running marathons, was he? He's an older. No hope.
Yeah. I mean, he'd got small cell lung cancer that was all over his body. He said the PET scan shone up like a Christmas tree. I mean, you know, but you've obviously told everybody that you know that somebody that's got cancer and somebody and everybody, you tell them your story. Have you had any other people that have done well?
Well, yeah, I've a couple of personal people who you help out seem to be doing okay. You don't like to talk about anyone else's business, do you? But
No.
on online, there seems to be a lot of people mentioning that they've used it, or their uncles have used it, and they've had great results. That you see the comments, and I read, and I think there must be something in it, mustn't there?
Yeah.
It can't all be the placebo effect. It can't.
No.
It really can't, and it can't be just ages and mentality and things like that. Because I was 40, Joe Tippens is 70, two different cancers, and it's so
Yeah.
something's the cancers go away, and then what they have to do is they have to do the research, don't they? And it'd be good if pharmaceutical companies did it, but they'd bury it anyway. You know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I just laughed at Joe Tippins because he was on a trial for what was it, and they had to throw the whole trial out. I mean, how much money did that cost them?
Yeah. I'm not sure whether Mebendazole will help people, Vin, but there's something in it. It's helped me. 12 years ago now, Vin.
They get mice with cancer, and they put them on a particular protocol and a diet drug combination. And what they've done is they did a study with Don, which they use as a control, and they used Mebendazole in this study, and the mice did well. And what Seafried says is that the energy pathway for the parasite energy pathway and the cancer energy pathway are similar, and that's why the Mebendazole and the Fembendazole do well. So he has got a scientific paper out there that proves that it does have an effect. So there is something in it, and as well as I do, the system's bent.
Yeah, the system's bent, and they won't do any trials out if it's going to cost them money. They're going to lose profits. They not going to spend. That's no. What it come out. You take the right dosage for certain cancers of, say, Fembendazole or Mebendazole, a different drug to absorb it, whatever combination of drug, and it costs £5 a day to do. They're not going to come out. They're just not going
to. No, it's a multi-billion-dollar business, isn't it?
Yeah. So the only way it'll happen if people take the risk themselves when they've got no hope, and you don't want anyone to do it and walk out of hospital now, see what we're talking about, and think, I'm not having the chemo, and walk out the treatment and just go and try what I did or what Joe Tippens did. You don't want that to happen, do you?
No,
but
no.
You want. So you've not got a good starting point for when people do it, because they're going to be at end of life when. So what are the chances of any that on? But say if people like, you got, okay, we just found cancer in your lungs, it's the small tumours, and you just go straight away, why don't you just try this drug for 3 months and we'll watch? And it might stop it at that stage.
Yeah.
But Joe Tippens was very far gone, wasn't he, Vinny? He was really far gone.
Yeah.
I caught it very early because they were looking there. They were waiting for it to go there after the chemo. That's it. So they knew it was going there because that's where they were looking.
Yeah.
So I was straight on it. But maybe if it had gone as far as my brain, it might not have worked. But I was just well ahead of the game. But when it goes to Joe Tippens, still here, you think there's definitely something in it. There's got in some cocktail that'll work for people.
Yeah.
When they do, we'll try it. We'll be at the end of life, and it's chances are they're not going to survive.
Well, the problem is that a lot of people have been totally beaten up by the chemotherapy, and
It's hard taking it as well, isn't it? So as I said, and you seem like a lovely guy, Vinny, helping people, doing your best.
Yeah, absolutely. When I saw that Reagan Chatterjee, who was he's an oncologist, and he interviewed Professor Seafried, and he talked about oncologists talking about these genes and those genes and oncogenes and bloncogenes and ploncogenes or whatever, and he said and So Seafried said that's the somatic mutation theory of cancer, and it's wrong. And Raging Shattered, you just went,
Right.
and it was like, and that was a light bulb moment for me as well, you know, because he's like, so hang on a minute, so all of this treatment that we've been doing for all this time is wrong.
Right.
Oh my God. And it dawned on him, you know, and it was a light bulb moment for me. And it's like, well, hang on a minute, I've got to try and save the world here.
Yeah, you're doing the right. No one knows, do they? You speak to people and no one's got a clue.
No.
I'm not being disrespectful. I didn't. You have to practice that in yourself, don't you? It's not easily readily available, is it?
No.
So you doing what you're doing is really good. Really fair play to you, pal.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, I'll let you go get a pint with your brother, and we'll speak again.
Speak to you later, pal.
All right, mate. See ya.